Welcome to the Attitude Lounge. I want to thank you for taking the time to come and spend some time with us. We know each other first and foremost because you are my cousin, but we grew up with each other at some point throughout our lives, here and there, different times of our lives, and we've even lived near each other, like right next to each other, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I just want to thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us.
Thank you so much, Prima. I appreciate the introduction. And I'm excited to be here. So I'm glad that we are connecting at this level and that you're giving me a platform and room and space to share my heart.
Yes. So, right. And sometimes, as I'm continuing to chat with community members, I kind of say to them, well, this is kind of just, this is a hobby for me just because I want to be able to some way help people, help entrepreneurs, help people who are just starting up with something, to have a platform so that we can listen to their story, and in hopes it might resonate with someone else who may be struggling to set off something in their lives, whether it's like taking that next step to taking a vacation, or taking the next step for a new hobby, or taking the next step to entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So tell us a little bit about what you currently do right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we can just, start chatting uncandidly.
Yeah. So right now at the moment, I am serving as a success coach for the Rainmaker Family. They're an amazing company that is providing breakthrough transformational experiences for moms that are rising up in the marketplace through Amazon.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so I've been given the blessing and the opportunity to be part of their mission and guide these women into a place of success, a place of transformation, and to help them identify as that boss lady, that CEO, that woman that's been bubbling inside for a very long time and just hasn't broken out. So I get the opportunity to guide them the first 8 weeks of their journey and help them understand the program. The program actually is an educational program with 4 phases of courses. And these 4 phases provide step-by-step instruction on how to do product research, source and innovate your products in China and in Mexico. And then from there, they start learning how to do PPC campaigns, which is pay-per-click.
Right. Is Mildred, tell me a little bit. So this program in the Rainmaker Family, so this is a program strictly for like entrepreneurship? It
is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so people can be at any level. Can someone who already let's say, is already decided to establish a business, can they also jump in?
Absolutely.
Because maybe, let's say, one of the things I'm learning as I speak to entrepreneurs is like, you learn as you go sometimes, and then you realize that maybe you have to take a few steps back, and get more information before you can move forward. And I mean, gather information and research to be able to move forward, because maybe something may not be working out. Sometimes I've seen programs where they say, well, if you are an entrepreneur and you're within the first 5 years, we want to hear from you. But what if you're in that 6th year, or, can somebody jump in? Are there any guidelines that prevent, let's say, someone from jumping in? Or are there options for, depending on what stages you're in, to jump in?
Yeah, absolutely. So the program is designed that if you already have a brand and you master a niche, you can definitely hop on and learn the method. Nice. But pretty much lean into the method that has been established for the purpose of success. It could be a little slower, right, than what the entrepreneur that's already been, moving and grooving throughout their X amount of journey. Right. But just lean into the method because it's e-commerce. It's something maybe that the entrepreneur may have not experienced in the past, and start slow. and get to a point where they feel comfortable in launching their very first product at a low scale, learning through the tools and the resources that we've provided for them, but also rinsing and repeating that with several other products as they continue to grow and strengthen their product research muscles and their launching muscles. So yeah, that is the way the program is designed, is to be able to have an entrepreneur succeed at whatever level they're at in their journey.
That's nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Because one of the things I've learned, like I said, I've ran into some folks that are in different stages of their lives, and it's sometimes certain things that are set up, certain resources are set up in such a specific way that sometimes the people who are in between, don't have the opportunity to jump in.
Right. I found that a lot of my students that have had the experience, they're so well versed in the marketplace that they find themselves in a humbling place when they do arrive to the method. They have to slow themselves down and realize that this is a little different than what they normally do. And it looks, maybe a little, a little restraining for them, where they can't really be free to express 100% of who they are. But eventually, the way the program is designed is that the one thing that we're so good about is, like, once you know the rules, you can break the rules, right? So at first we try to keep them within those rules so that they can build and get strengthened within the program and their knowledge and their skill set. But then once they've launched their first, second, third product, then they know these rules, and then they realize, like, okay, here I can do it this way. I can do this. And now I can fully express myself. Now I can really fully take risks that I couldn't take at the beginning of the course, because I was just new, right? I was just crawling. Now they're thriving. They're moving on. It's a 1-year mastermind program, and we really hone in on mindset. So we have like an amazing set of, like, a team of success coaches that really specialize in mindset and neuro coaching, where we position and help the student posture themselves for abundance, to really realize, there's more than just this Amazon launch. It's about transformation. It's about becoming who I wasn't yesterday and who I want to become tomorrow. So,
that's powerful.
It is powerful. And we are all on that journey. So even me being a coach, the one thing I always say to myself, coaches need coaches. So I make sure I lean into my own, sessions and my coaching. And the Rainmaker Family is an absolute, my gosh, I don't have words to say of how grateful I am for them. They ensure we get coaching on a monthly basis to ensure that we serve our community at the highest level. So I'm just so grateful to be there. I'm so grateful to be able to pour myself out and be and grow alongside my students as well. Making sure that I keep myself in a humble place and posture myself where I don't know everything, and I have to help them understand that and let them lean into my superpowers and be able to coach them at the level that I know I can serve them best.
I think that's amazing. And one of the things you talked about was the company giving back to you as well in coaching you in professional development. And I think but the professional development is so that you can grow, so that you can help your students in the program grow as well, and share that. Because a lot of this is also about just sharing what you know and passing it on to somebody else.
Yes, it's implementing the things that you open yourself up for, right? And taking it and making it your own, and making it unique and creative in a way that you can pour yourself out in a way that's genuine for your student and for yourself.
And motivation, because if you're motivated, I mean, I come from a higher education background, so I always said, you need to be your own cheerleader. You need to be able to get up. You need to be like the best employee you have for yourself.
Yes, love that.
Right? You need to say, hey, it's time to get up. It's time to show up. But you show up for yourself in a way that sets off the day, that sets off the week, that sets off the month, and take it from there. Sometimes we have to build upon things, but do it in a way that's baby steps. So I totally am. How can I say? I am a believer, a supporter of policies and rules and regulations. Not as entrepreneurs, I think some of it is like, right. People say, "Whoa, I want to be able to do what I want to do. I don't want to have to work for anybody. I can set my own time. I can set my own hours." And yes, you can do that, but you first have to show up for yourself. And you have to show up as you're building your brand. You have to show up for anybody else you hire, because you become that person's inspiration as well. And so if you're not inspired, if you're not showing up for your business, that person's not going to value your business.
Absolutely. I feel that is like the one key thing I found myself in the past, and places that have feel like, wow, can I really pour myself out? I feel empty this week. What is it? So I have to make sure that I'm in constant nourishment throughout the week. Personal development is so key. I can't give what I don't have. So I make sure that I'm in constant nourishment with my persona, with my mindset, ensuring that I'm my higher self every time I show up for my students.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
I I'm the kind of person that, even though, through COVID, I had the opportunity to work from home a little bit, not that it was at that time so welcomed as it is now. There's so many people working from home, but, I've retired, and I'm just basically trying to take care of myself, but also how can I give back to the community when I'm able to show up. And I'm a firm believer that in a way to show up for yourself is also being able to, when you get up, you make your bed. When you get up, you get dressed. Yeah. Even if you work from home, even if that day you're not going into your office, or you're not going into your studio or your workshop, even though all you're doing is making some phone calls, get dressed, get in the mood, get in that mindset to be able to, because it is powerful. I feel it's almost a way of empowering yourself to show up.
Absolutely. That's the one thing I'm like, I have my rituals that I invest into my life every single day. The first thing I do when I get up, I get in the shower. I just make sure I beautify myself, put my makeup on. I'm on Zoom calls all day. So I just got to make sure that I'm my best self. Like you said, do my bed. I go upstairs. I do my favorite coffee. I just nourish myself.
Right.
And just be that person that I know that is going to be open and receive abundance throughout the day. I just position myself there, and not every day is perfect, right?
Of course.
We have our challenges, and it's getting into that place where, you know what? Okay, I got to go open up that Word of God and open up the Bible and
Amen.
And read and soak into truth. For the sake of my mental state, you know?
We need something. Yeah. Yes, we need something, and many of us turn to God. I know I'm a woman of God. I'm not perfect.
Right.
None of us here are perfect. But the thought of just every day you get up, try to be a better person than you were the day before. But in particularly, treat yourself kindly and try to be that person for yourself.
Yeah.
Because until you can be that person for yourself, you can't be for others.
You can't. Exactly.
And that transcends in, whatever career you're looking forward to, or entrepreneurship, is that, when there are going to be trials and tribulations, it's going to be a roller coaster ride. It's going to be, in what I know, I'm not an expert, but I'm learning, and it's going to be, research. And I feel like with any kind of business, at the beginning, you really have to be very dedicated to that business. But no, even when those moments, when the moments that get hard come along and hit you harder, know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, because all of this work is being done so that then at some point you can be in that place at that level where you want to be with your business. And so it's temporary. All those trials and tribulations are temporary until you can get to that point.
Exactly. And it's more about it's more than just a feeling. Like, I found myself when I've risen up with different projects, community projects, opening up my nonprofit, Swan Stars, Savvy Women Are Rising Now, just the passion that I've had for entrepreneurship, and seeing women rise up in their gifts and talents and just killing it out there, right? Like, having, loving that passion that you have within, loving that thing that just excites you enough to keep pressing on, even far beyond feelings, even far beyond challenges, has been something that, to be completely vulnerable, has been a struggle for me. Because at times you lose joy in the midst of all of that. So finding that and making sure that you give yourself grace throughout it is crucial for you to thrive, and for your business to, I would say, be what it's supposed to be. It could change, it could evolve, right? It could be, for me personally, I've had to embrace that it could just be projects for, for the sake of serving others. Correct. It doesn't have to be, competing with the Joneses, or it doesn't have to be what, maybe another nonprofit looks like within the community. It doesn't have to. It could be what you want it to be, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? Things are set in place accordingly, but you have the freedom to create and find joy in that. And embracing that this year has been a challenge, but has also been very freeing for me.
I think one of the things I've learned is that you can learn from others who are also building on their brand, who are, and that could be by supporting them if they're selling a product, if they sell food, if they sell T-shirts, if they anything like that, and actually asking them questions, getting to know them, network with your own community, because there's enough to go around for everyone. I feel like we don't do enough we don't support each other enough, I feel, as a community. And I feel sometimes when entrepreneurs are coming in, they're like, oh, where's my competition? But, let's talk about, well, how can I partner up instead? Or
community over competition.
Yes,
love that. Yeah.
So, so for me, I've seen some of that, and I just want people to be able to look outside, the box, and look at like the many different types of opportunities that they could have, with some of their, with other community members who are also, trying to thriving, with their businesses.
Yeah,
well.
Absolutely. I love that. There's just so much room and space. The world is so big.
It is.
It's so big. There's so many creative things out there. There's so many places that we can, we can share, and be who we still are and not compromise, and continue to grow. Yeah. So, I totally love that.
So tell me, I think we were starting to transition a little bit into Swan Stars. Yeah. Let's talk about that acronym. Let's talk about how you first started talking of, thinking about what you wanted to do. Right. Because I think sometimes, I think it's going to resonate with some listeners, because one of the things I've spoken about in some of my earlier episodes is, how I thought about doing a podcast for years, like 6-7 years or something like that. And just didn't think, started doing some research, didn't think, that it was the right time, got sick, and then it was one thing after another. And now that I found myself like retired, but still dealing with some illnesses, I says, how can I still help people? I still want to have a purpose in life, to be able to, reach to people and, let them know that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Things are temporary. Yeah. And so I know you have some similarities in the sense that you've been thinking about Swan Stars. So let's start there about what it stands for, and how long have you been thinking about launching this?
Yeah, absolutely. So right before COVID is when this started bubbling, and it was based off of an experience that I had way too long to kind of go over today, but I'll touch on it a little bit. An experience that I had many years ago in my early 20s, and it had all to do about self-identity. And God revealed to me this beautiful swan on a deck. And as I struggled with my identity, I heard the voice of God, not audibly, but internally. It was very supernatural. And he showed me this swan on this deck as I struggled with my identity at this wedding that I was at. Anyhow, he was showing me, he was like, see all those little ducks? I don't know if they were like little ducks or little swans, but they were all brown, and they were all kind of like within the ponds, just kind of like blending in. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere came this white, beautiful swan from underneath the deck. And she was just swaying through the water so beautifully. And I just felt the love of God over me. Says, this is how I see you. And I just was taken back by that, because I've never seen myself like that. And so that paused over the years, and I've never really returned to it until right before COVID, and heard this awesome message by a minister. And it was about a Swan Star. And I won't go into full detail about it, but it resonated so much that day at that wedding that I struggled. It was just a parallel message. And then I just got this download about women that are struggling. Mm-hmm. And I saw at that time, I was going through my own little transformation in rising up in the marketplace through Facebook. And I was doing these creative pumpkins and selling them.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah. And so I was going through that transformation and just feeling so creative, and just everything just started like to reveal itself like a complete heaven download. Like, there are women that are just like you, struggling, not knowing their place in this world, and feeling lonely in their journey and wanting to rise up. They just don't have the support. And sometimes the support is just really like, hey, I'm here for you. I'm here to cheer you on. I'm here to just, connect with you. Let's gather together and talk about your dreams, talk about your, the things that excite you in life, and how to just bring it to life.
Right.
So then COVID hit, and we were all stuck, and we were all, feeling defeated for a while there. And so put that on the shelf. And in 2023, actually in 2020, it was in 2023, all the ideas started coming through just meditation. And it was this thing that the Lord revealed to me. This is how we're going to do this. It's going to be kind of like a nonprofit organization where we're going to call it Swan Stars. And SWAN is an acronym. It stands for Savvy Women Arising Now. And it's all going to be about women with their crafts and their hobbies and their entrepreneurial spirit, and how you're here, or not just me, but the community comes together to help them rise into this new self. And we could do that through competitions. Grant competitions is right. What it was. So to be honest, right now, it's in still the growing phase. It's still being developed and just having its own identity, rebranding. This year has been kind of like, let me sit back and figure it all out kind of year. But last year we had a pretty great year. We gathered with some women, inspired some other women to rise up, and we were able to partner with Valor Insurance Company to provide a Launch Like a Pro LLC package. Yeah. And then we also did an awesome campaign for a little entrepreneur. It's called the Just Imagine campaign, where we were able to raise funds for empowering bracelets. And that project was delivered to Lehigh Valley Children's Hospital, the Riley's Children's Hospital. So we made some impact last year that I'm very excited about and I love. But this year is a year of planning and figuring it all out again and seeing, where God wants to take it. Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what we all need to be opened with, whether it's a hobby, whether it's a side hustle for someone, whether
Yeah.
it's getting LLC, is, whether you're just starting out and trying to do the branding first before you can move on to the LLC, is that you do need patience.
Right.
I know we've mentioned giving grace, and and I feel like, in other words, you have to learn before you can move forward, because that learning process, even though it slows you down, right, it's gonna eventually help you in how you can move forward.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's the whole idea of it, right?
Right.
So that then we have outcomes about what we do. I know I went to several of Swan Stars events, and I thought they were awesome. I know you gave, how many LLCs did you give out? Like,
we gave out just the one LLC. The two projects that we were able to accomplish were the LLC Launch Like a Pro, generously given by Matthew Potter. He's one of the presidents of Valor Insurance. And then we did some crowdfunding, and we were able to provide a $500 grant for the Just Imagine campaign. And Sage Oeva, she was the little girl, 5 years old. She does these awesome empowering bracelets, and we partnered with this project and gave it out to the hospital, and really just it was amazing. It was just an awesome time of serving others.
Yeah, I thought it was quite beautiful. And I know, like we've spoken about, sometimes you got to take a step back in order to move forward.
Yes.
And, even with this podcast, I got to say, like, I think I didn't even know what kind of logo I wanted. I'm like, right. I have no idea. I'll think about that later. I don't need a logo. I just want to interview people, but kind of have candid conversations about what they do and their crafts, and in hopes that, again, it resonates with others and it helps them to get motivated and know that you can do things. We can all do it. We don't have to. Don't give up.
Right.
But I just think that you're also at a stage in your life, right, that you're also learning so much with this new company that you're with, and so you also want to bring what you're learning to the table to Swan Stars as well. Yeah,
that's one thing that I love is the constant growth at the Rainmaker family. There's been so many things that I've been able to learn and implement and do my own personal projects that I'm working on right now. One top secret family project that I'm really excited about, and I'll share here because I'm sure this won't be aired until after I release it. So I'm writing a book with my son. Actually, the manuscript is completely finished. It's a book, a children's book of my son's summer adventures with his grandparents. So we're really excited about that.
This is going to be awesome.
It is. My niece, Olivia, she's partnering with us, and she'll be the book illustrator. This is going to be her first project on a book as well. So she'll have some, hopefully 20 to 30 illustrations for me.
That's amazing.
That we can do. And then we're going to launch it on Amazon. So my goal is this journey that I'm on is for me to soak in and learn and just, master it as much as I can, so I can, provide the same service at a community level here in my local community. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Through Swan Stars, if possible. Yeah.
That's amazing, Mildred. I know that sometimes, it's difficult to tap ourselves on the back, right, about all the things that we do. And even though we're related and you're my cousin, I've always been, me to be on, I kind of say it the way it is, right?
Awesome.
Sometimes that's not taken very well by others, but I'm still going to be me. And so I got to say that I love talking to you. I feel every time we get together, we just have really good conversations. I think we're both have creative minds. And so we get excited about each other's projects.
I think so too.
And so I'm excited about everything that you're learning, because I'm going to pick your brain for everything, just because I love to learn. I just love to learn and figure things out. Life to me is like a puzzle.
Yes.
So when somebody knew something, I'm like, teach me. What are you doing? How do you do this? And so I'm just excited about everything that you have to offer for Swan Stars. In the local community, as well as, what you have to offer to those in the community of the Amazon world, and, with what you do.
Yeah, thank you.
And so I appreciate you. I'm so glad that you were able to take some time out of your busy schedule to be here on the show.
Absolutely.
And I hope to have you back just to check out where we're at, maybe 6 months from now, maybe a year from now or so.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah. Let's see. I have some other projects. So I'm excited about doing other things and sharing them with the community and coming back and sharing them with you.
Yes, that's amazing. Anything else you want to share with the listeners that maybe we didn't cover?
No, I think we covered everything. I just want to thank you. This is a blessing for me to see you rise up in your superpowers and be able to really bring this to women like us that are rising up. Because while I want to support women that are rising up, I'm also rising up. Yes. So you are doing what I'm doing for me, you know, so it's just kind of like that trickle effect and it's powerful and I'm grateful for it. So I love you very much.
Thank you so much. I got excited about people doing things. I mean, I come from a higher ed background. And so I just want people to learn and be their best at this life that we've been given.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it can be so beautiful. You know, it's not easy, right? But it can be beautiful, and you can learn lots of good things and pass them on, and you know, do and pick a career and do things that also serve your purpose. You know,
right? So
you know, live a life well lived through the magic of doing what you love.
Love it. Yes.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
That was so good.
Holla back at ya.